Welcome back. I'm Mr. Smith, and I will be reading chapters 8 and 9 of the Superteacher Project by Gordon Korman. Last chapter, chapter 7, we met Principal Candiotti, and she is a little torn about having Mr. Adak cover so much stuff, but she's like, he's got it, he can handle it. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But chapter 8, we are on Rosalie. So we're back to Rosalie, 7th grade girl. When I see that they posted the roster for the Bobcats girls field hockey team, my heart jumps into my throat. And when I see my name partway down the list, I made it, I breathe, punch in the air. Cassidy shoots me a quizzical look. Everybody makes it. If you show up at tryouts, you're in. Well, being a Bobcat might be no big deal for Cassidy, who's a multi sport athlete and our captain besides that. But for me, it's huge. This might be the proudest moment of my school career. Except for that time that I got 104% on the state math exam because I nailed both bonus questions. And maybe my first place finish at the science fair last year. Oh, and that chess tournament. Okay, okay. So maybe this is only my fourth proudest moment, but I'm celebrating. I'm terrible at tennis. I stink at softball. At track, I have two left feet. Soccer is a problem because I refuse to bounce that ball off my head. Sorry, not doing it. It looks goofy, and most of all, it hurts. Field hockey is my only chance to have something on my record that says Rosalie Arnett is more than just brains and ambition. She's an athlete, and at a good sport, too. None of those other boring sports. I'm probably getting ahead of myself here because I'm only in 7th grade, but this is going to look great for my college application. The field hockey coach is Mr. Adak. That surprises me at first. Shouldn't a girls' team have a female coach? But just like he's super smart at teaching, he's super smart at field hockey too. At our very first team meeting, he stands up in front of the whiteboard and starts diagramming X's, Y's, and Z's, all with arrows everywhere. I swear I've never been so confused in my life. So I look over at Cassidy and she's just as lost as I am. That has got to be brilliant coaching. Confirmed. We change into our teal and white skirts. Kinda hideous, but what middle school has its uniforms supplied by fashion designers? It's time to start training. I've held an ice hockey stick a few times. This is totally different. It's shorter, which forces you to kind of bend over. That is even more bent over when you're tall to begin with. There's no real blade on it. It's rounded into a hook shape. Not only that, but one side of the stick is flat. The other side is rounded, so you can't use it. It's not hard. It's actually illegal to do so. If you touch the ball with the rounded side of your stick, the whistle sounds, and your team loses possession of the ball. Don't worry about that too much, Cassidy confides. The field is so big that the refs miss a lot of those fouls. Boy, is she wrong. Mr. Adak catches every single one of them. Even if the ball bounces off the round part of your stick by mistake, he sees it from 60 yards away. He must have eagle eyes or something. At practice, his whistle shrills constantly, like a cicada infestation. At the first few days, I'm starting to hear it in my sleep. Coach Adak also has us doing shooting drills. After all, you'll never win if you can't score a goal. In theory, it should have been easy. The nets are giant, 12 feet by 7 feet, with only one goalkeeper standing in the middle. But it's practically impossible because the sticks are so awkward. First time I tried, I miss. No, not the net. The ball. The second time, I fan right over it and the ball rolls only a yard and a half, coming to rest at the feet of Letitia Dooley, our goalie. Even the 8th graders are struggling for power and accuracy. So the coach decides to demonstrate for us. He practically has to fold himself in half just to hold this super short stick. You use your body to aim, he explains. Draw an imaginary line through your shoulders. That's the path that your shot will take. I'm surprised. Did you play field hockey, Coach? Never once, he replies. At least he's honest. Now watch as I step into my shot with the opposite leg. Mr. Adak lunges forward, rearing back his stick, and he takes a mighty swing. There's a sharp thwack, and the ball takes off like it was fired from a bazooka. By the time Letitia sees it, it's already behind her, and it tears through the netting. It bounces off the side of the field house and it soars into the parking lot. There's a crash, followed by the wail of a car alarm. Mr. Perkins, who's been seated in the bleachers, watching the practice and writing in his notebook, suddenly leaps to his feet. My car! High stepping all along the seats, he exits the stands at speed, his giant briefcase smacking against his knees. He runs into the lot, stops at this white Toyota Prius. The windshield is now a spider web of broken glass, with the ball lodged dead center, like a pimple. It's a strange moment. Half the girls are horrified, while the others are holding in some laughter. Weirder still, Coach Adak goes on with his explanation of shooting technique like nothing happened, and his student teacher isn't melting in the parking lot. Coach? I venture shyly. Shouldn't you go over there and, I don't know, help Mr. Perkins? He gives me that blue-eyed stare of his. Do you have a field hockey question, Rosalie? I, I guess not. Then let's save it till after practice, he concludes. Now everybody take a ball. An all too familiar voice declares, Snack time! Across the grass marches my mother, a medium-sized carton balanced on her shoulder, and I squint at the logo. Flaxplosion. I rush over. What are you doing here, Mom? We're in the middle of practice. Well, surely you can pause for a little quick energy, she reasons. She puts the box down, throws open the lid, and hollers, Come and get it. The bobcats, eager for a break, gather around. But when they see the contents of the box, they all back off. Nobody reaches for one. People tell me I look like my mother, but at this very moment, I'm trying to look like anyone, someone else. My mom plucks a bar out of the carton, tears off the wrapper, and gives it to me. All right, who's next? No one steps forward. Is this your mom, Rosalie? Letitia pipes up. The girls are all looking at me like I've done something unforgivable. I swear I'm tempted to say no, but she's my mom. She means well, and she works hard for the PTA. But why does the entire field hockey team, including 8th graders, have to know that I'm the daughter of the person who chose these awful bars for the fundraiser? The school office is piled high with boxes just like this one. The students are supposed to be selling them to raise money for the Halloween dance. Anybody who's tried has had a lot of doors slammed in their faces because they look terrible and taste worse. I would have one, Cassidy ventures, carefully. But if we eat too many ourselves, we won't have any left to sell. I might have been a teeny bit optimistic when I placed the order, my mom admits. Sales aren't as brisk as I was expecting. I took 2 dozen to sell, Ainsley whispers beside me, and I had to throw them out in the garbage and pay the money out of my own pocket. It's worth it, I heard somebody else comment. My face feels so hot, I'm sure my cheeks turn bright red. Coach Adak picks up a bar, examines the ingredients on the wrapper. They seem healthy enough. Thank you, my mom exclaims in an exaggerated tone. She holds out her hand. Peggy Arnett, PTA president. She adds, Well, Arnett's my married name. I'm recently divorced, you see. Old habits die hard, don't you know? Suddenly, I'm praying for the cleats on my shoes to turn into little drills and dig me to the core of the earth. Rob Adak, nice to meet you. They shake hands. Adact, she repeats. Is it German? Dutch? A little of this, a little of that, Mr. Adact replies. Well, this is all really interesting. Obviously a lie. But we're wasting practice time, I say. I'm sure you can take a break early. Just this once. My mom's eyes are on Mr. Adact. Not on me. Mr. Perkins slouches onto the scene, heels dragging, the picture of dejection. We're here for a while, he announces tragically. The auto glass repair people can't make it for another hour. Well then, Miss Adact, Coach Adact, hefts his stick up. Let's get back to work. Take a bar at least, my mom insists, pushing a flat explosion in his direction, and not giving in until he accepts it. It builds muscle tone. She looks him up and down. Not that you need any of it. You have no problem in that department. Oh my gosh. He slips the bar into the pocket of his pants, but I notice for the rest of practice he never takes a bite. Chapter 9. Confidential Report to the Department of Education, Washington, D.C. From Paul Perkins, P.E. Project ADACT. A concerning trend has begun to appear. Teachers are slouching off unwanted duties on ADACT. This results in ADACT being involved in activities outside the parameters of the project, including coaching a sport. There is increased risk of security breach when ADACT interacts with anything outside of the department planning. A PTA member could present a future problem, but this is under control at the moment. Project status green, special expenses, 1 windshield for the Toyota Prius. Okay, so our unit is about technology, and the final big idea for our unit is, do we rely on technology too much? We being society, people. So, Mr. Adact, I don't know if you figured it out or not, but he's not exactly human. So, I want you to think about it. Where in the story, maybe a couple chapters ago, do people rely on him too much?